Hi, my name's David Cheseldine. I'm going to talk about web conferencing using Adobe Connect. One thing I've noticed on the screencasts I've looked at is that most of them show you Connect only from the host point of view. I'm going to show you Connect from the host and participant point of view simultaneously. So I've got two windows open. In the top window, I'm in a room as a host called Dave Cheseldine. And in the bottom room, in the bottom window, I'm in the same room as a participant called Louis. And I'd like you to notice the difference between the two windows. So as host, I can, for example, share my screen or share a document. I can also do various things with the chat window, such as clear it if there's any text in it, and start a chat with an individual person. And I can enable various things for the participant, such as using this menu along the top, such as their microphone or their webcam. In the participant window as Louis, when I come into the room, there's not very much I can do. I can adjust my speaker volume, and I can raise my hand or do some other predefined gesture. I can also see who's at the meeting, and I can also use the chat messaging window. So let's try out those things that the participant can do. So if the participant raises their hand, then the host gets a message. One person has raised hand, and they can accept that message and give that person the microphone rights, or they can decline that message until they're ready to field the question. And the participant gets feedback about either of those choices. The participant can also use the chat messaging window. And you see the host gets that message and can reply to the participant. And there we are, the message is updated in real time. Now, as things stand, as a participant, I can't speak because my microphone isn't enabled, and I can't show people my face because my webcam isn't enabled. So let's give the participant the ability to use their microphone and webcam, and I do that as host using these menu items along the top. So for microphone, I do audio microphone rights for participants, and you can see the participant now has an extra icon on their menu bar, and they can use that to activate their microphone. And for webcam, I use this menu, enable webcam for participants, and again the participant now has an extra icon on their menu bar and they can start using their webcam. So let's imagine a scenario where I'm giving a presentation but one of my students can't make it. So I would invite that student to a Connect room at a specific time, and then I would share the document, and I've preloaded this PowerPoint document into Connect, otherwise you would use browse my computer. And there we are, the student sees slide 1. When I move to slide 2, the student sees slide 2, and so on. And at the end of the lecture, I would stop sharing. Now, in fact, what I would probably do when Connect was all set up correctly is I would probably share my entire screen rather than sharing document, and then run the PowerPoint slides normally at full screen. And that way the students who are actually physically present in the classroom can see the PowerPoint presentation normally, and the student participant can see the slides in their Connect window. The final thing I'd like to show you is breakout rooms. So the icon for those is here. So if I select that icon and then pull a participant into one of the breakout rooms and start the breakouts, and at that point you can see the participant gets a message to tell them that they're now in a breakout session, And this is a completely self-contained session, so the participant can use their chat window to chat exclusively with the other people in their breakout session. And now the participant also gets the ability to share their screen and share a document with the other people in their breakout session. So I hope that gives you some idea of how Connect works from both the host and participant point of view. Thanks for watching.